We're back.
Hey.
Hey.
I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it.
I mean, like, what's really going on here?
I kind of like you and stuff.
So, I mean, are we like boyfriend and girlfriend, or? I mean, you were saying like friend girl. I don't really get it. I mean,
Am I not all that in a bag of chips?
I'm just asking, because
Girls gotta know.
I got, places to go, people to do.
People to do, okay. Is that so?
You never know.
Go and get it then.
As far as you know.
Go and get it then.
Oh, okay. So we're not?
Of course we are.
Aw, babe.
Aw.
You're so sweet. What? What?
Zerbert. I haven't seen one of those since the Cosby Show.
Excuse me.
Yeah, she's come back for a second episode, so I guess it must be serious.
Or I'm leaving in a minute.
Yeah, any minute. Actually, no. I made a post about getting ideas for upcoming webisodes, and a friend of mine on Facebook, she suggested that I talk about one of the posts that she made, which was about something that she saw in her news feed, and I'm just going to read the post and in its entirety, and then we'll kind of discuss it and see what we come up with.
Sure.
The post says, people who actually have anxiety don't go around talking about their anxiety all the time. Just saying. People with real anxiety are too anxious to let others know they fight this battle day in and day out. They are too anxious and ashamed to say that even the smallest thing can set them off into a panic that they can't control. They are too anxious and ashamed to admit they would rather stay inside alone than have to go out and function around other people because they are afraid others are constantly judging them. They aren't always trying to make others understand how they feel because people with anxiety know that there's no one who could possibly understand. I feel like it's become a trend to have anxiety. It's ridiculous and disrespectful to those who actually suffer from this illness. Now, I'm going to let that sink in for a minute and we'll be back with commentary. Okay, so basically the post is saying that people who have anxiety don't go around talking about it. And I have my perspectives on that, as you well know. She made an interesting point just a second ago.
Well, one thing was I had an aunt who was suffering from Alzheimer's, and I had someone else in my family who they thought they were suffering from some sort of dementia or Alzheimer's, but it had not been diagnosed at the time. And the person would call me up and say, wait, who is this? Who did I call? And my aunt, who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and truly had it, was quite different. She couldn't formulate words. She couldn't acknowledge how she was feeling. She couldn't respond to you when you asked her a simple question. So it was quite obvious that, to me, maybe not to the people who didn't know that much about it, but that the other person was being misdiagnosed or self-diagnosing themselves incorrectly. Similarly, one of the things that this post brought to mind to me was I know that I've suffered from anxiety, and I know that it's something real that's been going on in my life for a long time, for as long as I can remember. But one of the ways that the post worded things, I didn't realize that my anxiety was necessarily one of the reasons why I was isolating as much as I was. And I don't think that the people who don't understand it necessarily realize that that's one of the reasons why a person with anxiety isolates. It's not just the depression that makes you isolate. It's also the anxiety, because you know that if you go out, you have to deal with things. You have to deal with people. You have to deal with feeling like, oh, do they think I sound stupid? Do they think that I'm talking too much? Do they think that I'm not talking enough? Are they, judging me in some way, and it makes you feel very self-conscious. So it's a lot easier to stay at home alone than it is to go out and face those fears and face those possibilities, to me. And I didn't realize that that was a, I guess, subconscious decision that I was making in order to deal with that.
Well, I mean, I think, everyone has their ways of coping with their particular disorders, if we're going to call anxiety a disorder. One of the things that this post brings to light, according to them, is that they feel like having anxiety has become a trend. And my friend read a book, Brave New World, which was written back in like 40-something, 50-something. And then 30 years later, the guy who wrote Brave New World, Aldous Huxley, wrote Brave New World Revisited, in which he went back and analyzed his story of Brave New World and compared it to the way that society was today, or when he wrote Brave New World Revisited, that is. But anyway, he quoted a psychiatrist in the book, and he said that the psychiatrist made it sound like people that have anxiety and depression and neuroses and things of that nature are actually people who are having a normal human reaction to the state of the world today. So in that respect, I mean,
we can say in some ways that all people might be experiencing it on some different level, on some sort of a level.
Yeah, I don't think you could be a human being and not have anxiety of some sort.
Right.
I mean, I guess is the defining factor here is it causing problems in your life? Like, are you isolating? Are you avoiding people? Are you doing these things? And I say, if your anxiety is causing you to isolate, I think that it doesn't foster understanding for the disorder staying silent. You know, and I'm not saying that you should go around telling everybody your business or saying, hi, my name's Aaron, I have anxiety. You know, I'm not saying you should do that. But at the same time, the keeping silent about it is what perpetrates the stigma concerning it. And I think that we're in a situation nowadays where people are becoming a little more open and honest about what's bothering them, the things that go on in their lives, you know, their anxiety, their depression. I mean, ever since I posted that blog about whose disability is it anyway a few weeks ago, I've seen at least 3 separate videos, including one by Sinead O'Connor, where they were talking about, you know, just real talk, like in tears, about their particular depression or anxiety and things like that. I think we're in a climate now socially where it's a little more acceptable to people these days to be open and honest about it and get some actual genuine feedback.
But I think there's still some misunderstandings about it. For example,
right.
I'm just going to use depression as an example. There's situational depression. My parent just passed away. Obviously, I'm going to be depressed. That's a situational depression that you go through. You go through the stages of grief and so forth. Yeah. I just lost my job. I'm going to go through some depression over that, some difficulties and things like that. So there's situational forms of many of these different types of illnesses.
Which are just genuine reactions to the situation going on.
And then there's someone who has clinical depression. Mm-hmm. And I can remember years ago, my mother actually telling me about someone that I was very close with at the time. Well, he has everything going for him. He has a wife, he has beautiful kids, he has a great job. Why is he depressed? And to that's right there to me the crux of it. It's like that, at that point, my mother did not understand the clinical depression because, you know, it ran in his family. It was something that he had been struggling with his entire life. He had been self-medicating for it at times and treated for it at times or whatever. But you can't talk someone out of a chemical imbalance. A clinical illness or a chemical imbalance. You can't say, you shouldn't be nervous going to this social event or this social gathering. These people are your family and your friends. They care about you. They're not going to make you feel uncomfortable. Right. You can't talk someone out of something like that. On the other hand, take it to the swing side and, you know, just like people say people are over diagnosing ADHD and things like that, You know, I have students and even parents who tell me all the time, well, my child has test anxiety because I had test anxiety, or my child can't learn math because I had anxiety and difficulty learning math or whatever. And sometimes I think that's a misconception. I don't want to say it's a cop-out because I think they truly believe it, but I don't necessarily believe that it's always true. I think sometimes, like I said, that it's a misconception that people have about something, that it's, I don't know, somehow contagious or passed down, or that you can just put a blanket thing over, you know, this child has some sort of anxiety, surely. But by you saying this child has test anxiety or math anxiety or something like that.
Are you helping the child, or are you pigeonholing them?
Definitely. And I mean, in some cases it can be one, and in some cases...
Do it again.
You know you love it.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap that portion of the webisode up because it's like she just said, I don't think we're opening any big doors by discussing it. We're
opening some dialogue and some, you know...
a forum for discussion. So, you know, if you have some things that you want to chime in about, you know, give your opinion on, then by all means comment. I've had people tell me that they can't comment on the blog itself because they don't have a Google account, but I do believe it gives you the option to place an anonymous comment. And if you just want to say your name in the comment, then I'll know it's from you.
You can always inbox Aaron as well.
You can always inbox me, or you can always comment on the blog post that I put on my Facebook. When I advertise the blog is up, you can always comment there. But I think that it's something that, my biggest thing is that there's a big stigma about a lot of mental health issues and disorders. And misconceptions. And it doesn't get you anywhere to just keep everything to yourself. And if you want true, like, lasting recovery from these things or coping mechanisms, the only way you're going to find that is to open up about it. Be it to a therapist or your best friend or your parents or something. So that's my advice anyway. I mean, like I said, I'm open about it in my blog, and I'm not saying everybody else needs to do a blog, but, you know, if you open up about it, it's a little easier to cope with. So anyway, now we're going to get to the fun part.
What's really disconcerting is this callus on my foot. I mean, seriously, that's disgusting.
That's pretty foul.
I mean, if you can't get to a pedicurist and you don't have one of these little, like, shavy things or whatever, try to find one as soon as possible. If nothing else, edge of an axe will work good. I mean,
X-Acto knife.
Yeah, get a little help from a friend.
Here, let me gnaw on that.
There you go. Anything will work, okay? Just don't walk around with the ashy feet, okay?
Okay.
Oh my God, you're so cute.
You're so pretty.
Can I post another picture of us together?
Oh, I want to so bad.
Okay, wait, let's see how we look.
Yeah.
Wait, my hair's not right.
We got to do the blue steel.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, that's cute.
Take one. Yeah.
Okay.
Click, click.
Okay.
Click, click.
One more.
Yeah.
Okay, act like we don't care.
I'm so over it.
Yeah, you act like you like me a lot. We've been accused of being so high school, so we're just going to be as disgusting as possible.
Yeah, it was brought to my attention recently that by someone, we won't mention this person's name, and I'm just only mentioning it.
Starts with a C and ends with a T, though, I'll tell you that.
Ouch. So I was just minding my own business, and I had posted a picture
of Arenifer.
Yeah, Arenifer. Generin. Now, I had, because she just recently, injured her knee at work, and so she's having to elevate her leg and her foot. And so we were sitting outside, and I just she put her foot up on my leg.
Which had really nasty socks and flip-flops on.
I thought the socks were cute.
Wow.
But she did have flip-flops on too. But anyway, so I posted a picture of me, and I said, helping my bae elevate, you know. And it was cute because they had the socks and everything like that. And somebody messaged me out of the blue. I hadn't talked to this person in like months. And out of the blue, I get this message that, wow, you're totally, like, I'm 24 years old and I've got a new man and I'm not as high school as you guys are. And
okay, but less detail. The point is, my response to that was, me personally, I keep my Facebook numbers low. I don't have tons of acquaintances because everybody that is on my Facebook is somebody that I know and care about. And I said this in a post, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. But if you're my Facebook friend, I know you, I care about you. I'm thrilled if you have 25 years of marriage that you're celebrating, or a new baby, or your puppy is cute, or your cat does something adorable, or your kids are, you know, win some tournament or something like that. I truly am happy for you. If some tragedy befalls you, I'm truly upset and sorry for you, and all my heart and prayers go out to you. So I keep my numbers low because that's just the way I
That's how you roll. R-O-L-E. Yeah.
No. And he has a lot more friends and acquaintances than that because he's made friends all over the country through Facebook and everything like that. So he uses it more of truly a social media in the, I guess, the form it was probably meant to be.
Intended.
Well, we could argue
so,
that.
Yeah, that's arguable, but anyway.
My definition is more like if I wouldn't say hi to you on the street, or if I don't know you or know enough to keep up with you in real life, then I probably am not going to keep up with you on Facebook. But it's different philosophies. So my question was, if two 40-something-year-olds, you know, are happy for a minute and post some goofy stuff, how does that hurt you? Okay, you don't have to look at it. And here was the real kicker. The girl didn't just unfollow dear sweet Aaron.
I know.
She unfollowed him and messaged him about it to tell him about it because she's that little and
that
trite.
Petty.
It was really silly.
Yeah, it was very basic. But, yeah, that's what I told her. I was like, this is really passive-aggressive. I was like, like, what the fuck?
Hold on, Aaron's got to get his hair all right. We are
retarded.
Absolutely.
So, guys, we are high school. We are teenagers.
For the moment.
For the moment.
Some parts of us more than others.
She did not.
She wishes.
I think she did. Wow, this one right here.
Hey.
Hey. Let me see this. All right, class, what we're going to do today is find the cognates of cognitivity. Yeah, I'd make a great teacher, especially with these classes. I don't need to look down. I need to look up because these are no line both ovals.
Thanks for outing me on that, bitch.
All right, you're welcome. Well, it's like if I look up, I can't see shit, but if I'm like this, it's clear.
And you look scary. Serial killer.
Remember Church Lady? Could it be Satan?
You would know.
You don't remember her doing the Church Lady dance?
That was Aaron actually, literally, and figuratively showing his ass.
Showing my ass, yeah.
So that was our bloopers. We hope you found them mildly entertaining at least.
We are super weird.
Goofballs.
Yeah, you've called me fucking goofy. We're kind of maroons, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, now it's your turn. I always have to come up with ideas for these things. Why don't you talk about something? Although you did do most of the talking.
Well, you know, I have this thing on my foot that I need to go get take the file to, and I did come up with that's very interesting. Okay, females, tell me seriously. I mean, if there's something on your foot and it's like really bothering you, you've just got to get it taken care of. That's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, you don't want to show up in front of your man with something nasty like that, right?
Hanging off. I mean, it's like this skin flap hanging off on her toe, and it's.
And
like,
we all know we don't like their skin flaps hanging off.
Okay, there's a great topic.
What? No.
Which do you prefer?
What? It's a no-go.
Skin flaps or none?
No fly zone.
No fly zone?
No fly
That's
zone.
no pun intended either. Oh well, we're just riffing here.
Anyway, hope you had a nice time. We did.
Yeah, we've had fun. All right, later.
And the reason we've had fun is because if it didn't happen on video, he's not happy.
If it didn't happen on video or on Facebook.
What was that initials that your friend said? Pictures make it real?
Oh, PODH. Pixar didn't happen.
Okay, pics or it didn't happen. So you got pics of how fucking goofy we are.
We're nuts. And, I'm glad I found her. Last episode, I didn't, really talk about, I called her my friend girl in the description.
Oh my God. He tried to get me to, agree to some, friends with benefits. He told me I was, cold to him because I wouldn't even, kiss him for, 2 dates or something like that. Oh my God. It's, ridiculous.
I bring it up at almost equal intervals.
Every single day. I'm like, okay, ho, what kind of shit do I need to get tested for?
Ho?
You can be a man ho. You is a man
true.
ho, babe.
No, I'm not.
I mean, not at the moment, but
Things can change.
they certainly can. We'll be seeing you right now. I gotta go.
All right.